Welcome to Listory Lane, where history meets discovery. We uncover history's hidden secrets, thanks to modern science. Before we begin, please like, share, and subscribe. Help us reach our very first milestone of 1,000 subscribers so we can keep bringing you more fascinating stories every week. Today we'll explore 10 objects transformed by technology. Stay tuned. Number 10. The Antikythera Mechanism. In 1900, sponge divers off the Greek island of Antikythera discovered a shipwreck filled with ancient treasures. Among the statues and coins, they found a corroded bronze lump about the size of a large book. The artifact was taken to the National Archaeological Museum in Athens, where its purpose was a mystery. As the corrosion was removed, tiny precision-cut gears were revealed, an astonishing find for an object from the 1st century BC. Its complexity baffled scholars, who debated whether it was even possible for such technology to exist in ancient Greece. Only decades later, with modern research and technology, did we realize the Antikythera mechanism was an ancient Greek analog computer, centuries ahead of its time. The first breakthrough came in the 1970s, but it was only in the early 2000s that technology truly unlocked the Antikythera mechanism's secrets. Using high-resolution X-ray tomography, researchers created a detailed 3D model of the device's interior, revealing a complex system of interlocking gears. The results were breathtaking, at least 30 finely engineered bronze gears, far more advanced than a simple astrolabe. This was a sophisticated geared machine, unlike anything seen in Europe for over 1,000 years. The Antikythera mechanism was an ancient analog computer, built to predict astronomical positions and eclipses decades into the future. Once dismissed as a corroded lump, it's now recognized as one of the most important technological artifacts ever found, rewriting our understanding of ancient science. The Antikythera mechanism stands as a silent testament to human ingenuity, its mysteries revealed by modern technology. Number 9. Ötzi the Iceman. In 1991, hikers in the Ötztal Alps stumbled upon a human body emerging from the melting ice. Artifacts found with the body, a copper axe, bearskin cap, and grass-stuffed shoes, hinted at its ancient origins. Radiocarbon dating revealed Ötzi died over 5,300 years ago, making him Europe's oldest natural mummy. His remarkably preserved body, clothes, and tools gave scientists an unprecedented look into Copper Age life, and with new technology, researchers continue to uncover secrets about how Ötzi lived and died. In 2001, scientists used CT scanning on Ötzi's remains, producing a detailed 3D image of his body, inside and out, without a single cut. They discovered a flint arrowhead deep in his left shoulder near his lung, evidence he'd been shot in the back. The arrow severed his subclavian artery, causing fatal blood loss. Ötzi was a homicide victim, not just a man lost to the cold. He also had a deep hand wound and a severe head injury, signs of violent conflict before his death. DNA analysis of his weapons and clothing revealed blood from at least 4 other people, hinting at a desperate struggle. Technology transformed Ötzi's story from a simple accident to a prehistoric murder mystery, one of conflict, flight, and betrayal, written in his frozen remains. Number 8. The Dead Sea Scrolls. In 1947, Bedouin shepherds stumbled upon ancient clay jars in caves near Qumran, holding scrolls untouched for 2,000 years. This discovery became one of the 20th century's greatest, revealing the oldest Hebrew Bible copies and unknown texts from Second Temple Judaism. But the scrolls were fragile, often just thousands of brittle fragments, many blackened and unreadable. Early technology like infrared photography helped reveal faded writing, but much remained hidden. The challenge was to read and preserve these irreplaceable texts without causing more damage. Technology continues to unlock their secrets, making the invisible visible while protecting history. The breakthrough came not from chemicals or magnifiers, but from physics and digital imaging. Enter multispectral imaging, or MSI. This technology captures images across many wavelengths, from ultraviolet to deep infrared, revealing details invisible to the naked eye. Each material, parchment, ink, decay, has a unique spectral signature. By imaging fragments under many wavelengths, researchers use computer algorithms to digitally reconstruct and reveal hidden text. One famous case, the Genesis Apocryphon, a scroll too fragile to unroll, was digitally unwrapped and read for the first time in centuries. Today, the Israel Antiquities Authority and Google are digitizing the entire Dead Sea Scrolls collection, creating a massive online library accessible to all. Now anyone, anywhere can study these ancient texts, ensuring their survival for generations to come. Number 7. Viking Ulfberht swords. Between the 9th and 11th centuries, a remarkable class of sword appeared in the Viking Age. These swords, inscribed with +Ulfberht +T, were legendary for their strength, flexibility, and sharpness. They could withstand brutal combat, bend without breaking, and cut through lesser blades. For Vikings, owning an Ulfberht was like wielding a modern battlefield advantage. About 170 have been found, scattered from Scandinavia to Russia, tracing Viking trade and raids. Unlike typical swords made from impure bloomery iron, Ulfberhts used high-quality crucible steel, technology Europe wouldn't master for centuries. The source of this advanced steel remains a mystery, possibly linked to distant trade routes. The +Ulfberht +T mark became so famous it was widely copied, often with inferior materials. Today, researchers study these swords to uncover the science behind their legendary reputation. The Ulfberht sword stands as a testament to ancient innovation and global technological exchange. The secret of the Viking Ulfberht swords wasn't hidden in old sagas, but revealed in the lab. Metallurgists used scanning electron microscopes to analyze tiny samples from real Ulfberht blades, uncovering their near-atomic structure. The results were astonishing. The steel was almost perfectly pure with a uniform high carbon content. This meant the steel was made by heating iron ore and carbon in a crucible above 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit, letting impurities sink away. The result? Pristine ingots of high-quality steel, the raw material for Ulfberht swords. But the Vikings didn't make this steel, they imported it, as chemical analysis pointed eastward. The steel, known as Wutz, came from Central Asia, modern Iran and Afghanistan, via vast trade networks. Viking smiths forged these imported ingots into legendary blades, rewriting our view of the Viking Age. The Ulfberht sword became proof of a global trade network linking the North Sea to the Islamic Golden Age. Thanks to technology, we now know the magic of Ulfberht was in the trade that made it possible. Number 6. Mayan hieroglyphs. In the jungles of Mesoamerica, ruins like Tikal and Chichen Itza stand as monuments to the Maya civilization. Their intricate writing system was carved on stone, temples, and pottery, one of the most beautiful scripts ever made. For centuries, Mayan hieroglyphs were a mystery. The bars, dots, and symbols formed a complex language and record-keeping system. After the Spanish conquest, the meaning of the glyphs was lost for centuries. Explorers and scholars could only wonder at their meaning. Early attempts to decipher them failed, partly due to a misinterpreted 16th century manuscript. The script was not an alphabet, but a complex system of logograms and syllables. Scribes fused glyphs into intricate blocks, making the writing both art and language. Deciphering Mayan hieroglyphs required new technology and ways of seeing patterns, unlocking the stories of the Maya at last. The mid-20th century saw the first major breakthrough in deciphering Mayan hieroglyphs. Russian linguist Yuri Nerozov realized Delanda's manuscript was a syllabary, not an alphabet, and showed the glyphs could be sounded out phonetically. But the sheer volume and complexity of the script made progress painfully slow. The field needed a way to process massive amounts of data. In the 1980s and 90s, scholars began building digital databases of every known Mayan glyph. For the first time, researchers could instantly see every instance of a glyph in dozens of contexts. Computers made it possible to rapidly identify and compare patterns, revolutionizing the field. Today, artificial intelligence is pushing the boundaries even further, finding patterns too subtle for the human eye. AI can even suggest new decipherments, accelerating discoveries. Today, over 90% of Mayan hieroglyphs can be read with confidence. Technology didn't just crack a code, it gave the Mayan people their history back. Number 5. The Pyramids of Giza. These ancient monuments are among the most iconic structures ever built, standing for thousands of years as symbols of Egypt's ingenuity. The Great Pyramid of Khufu is especially famous, with its massive size and mysterious internal chambers. For centuries, explorers have searched for hidden rooms and secrets within its stone walls. Early methods were destructive, but much of the pyramid remained inaccessible. Modern technology, like 3D scanning, has mapped known areas in detail. Today, scientists use non-invasive tools, including cosmic ray detectors, to search for hidden chambers. The Pyramids of Giza remain a bridge between ancient mystery and modern science. Enter muon tomography, an ingenious use of particle physics that lets us peer inside solid stone. Muons, created when cosmic rays strike the upper atmosphere, rain down on Earth and can penetrate hundreds of meters of rock, far deeper than X-rays. By placing sensitive detectors inside the pyramid, scientists track muons as they pass through, much like a cosmic-scale medical scan. If muons pass through solid stone, many are absorbed. But if there's a hidden chamber, more muons get through, revealing empty spaces in a 3D density map. In 2017, the Scan Pyramids project announced a stunning find, a massive, previously unknown void above the Grand Gallery, comparable in size to the gallery itself. The purpose of this void remains a mystery, but its discovery was a breakthrough for both technology and archaeology. Muon tomography didn't answer every question, but it transformed the Great Pyramid from a static monument into a dynamic puzzle, reminding us that even the most studied wonders still hold secrets. Number 4. The Nazca Lines. Sprawled across the southern Peruvian desert, the Nazca Lines are one of archaeology's greatest mysteries. These are hundreds of massive geoglyphs, some geometric, others depicting animals like spiders, hummingbirds, and monkeys, etched into the desert floor between 500 BCE and 500 CE. The designs are so large they can only be fully seen from the air. The world first learned of them in the 1930s, when pilots spotted the patterns from above. The Nazca people made the lines by removing dark pebbles to reveal lighter soil beneath, creating a striking contrast. The dry, windless climate has preserved these figures for nearly 2,000 years. Their purpose remains a mystery. Were they astronomical calendars, ritual pathways, or messages to the gods? Early researchers like Paul Kosok and Maria Reike mapped and studied the lines, but many questions remain. Today, new technology continues to reveal more geoglyphs, keeping the Nazca Lines an enduring enigma. The advent of satellite imagery transformed our understanding of the Nazca landscape. High-resolution images from space allowed researchers to view the entire Nazca Plateau as a single integrated canvas, revealing connections and patterns that were impossible to see from a low-flying plane. Researchers could trace the long, straight lines across vast distances, noting how they interconnected with different figures and topographic features. It became clear that this wasn't just a random collection of drawings, but a highly organized and deliberately planned landscape. The real revolution came with the widespread availability of commercial satellite platforms like Google Earth and the use of drones. Suddenly, the power to explore the desert was democratized. Researchers and dedicated amateurs could meticulously scan high-resolution imagery from their computers, looking for the telltale discolorations and faint outlines of undiscovered geoglyphs. Drones took this to the next level, capturing thousands of overlapping, ultra-high-resolution photos. Using this combination of satellite and drone technology, archaeologists have made an astonishing number of new discoveries. Since 2018, researchers from Yamagata University in Japan, in collaboration with Peruvian archaeologists, have identified over 140 new Nazca Lines. Many of these newly found figures are smaller than the classic, well-known biomorphs, often located on hillsides, and depict different subjects, including humanoid figures, snakes, and birds. These discoveries are filling in crucial gaps in our knowledge, suggesting that the tradition of creating geoglyphs was more varied and widespread than previously thought. This flood of new data is forcing us to rethink long-held theories about the lines. Researchers have identified at least two distinct types of geoglyphs, the larger, more famous ones found on the flat plains, and these newer, smaller ones often found on slopes, possibly intended to be seen from the valleys below. This suggests they may have served different purposes for different audiences over time. Technology hasn't provided a single, definitive answer to the Nazca mystery, but it has expanded the book of questions exponentially. It has transformed the desert from a static museum into a living archaeological site, where the next great discovery could be just one drone flight away. Number 3. Medieval manuscripts. Before the printing press, every book was a unique handmade treasure, painstakingly copied by scribes onto parchment or vellum, materials made from animal skin. Books were rare and expensive, sometimes requiring hundreds of animal skins and years of labor to produce a single volume. Because parchment was so valuable, it was often reused, creating palimpsests, manuscripts with hidden, erased texts beneath newer writing. These hidden layers sometimes held lost works, but were nearly impossible to read without damaging the manuscript. Today, advanced imaging technology can reveal these lost texts safely, unlocking secrets from centuries past. The breakthrough in reading palimpsests non-destructively began with ultraviolet light. When researchers illuminated ancient manuscripts with UV lamps, the old iron gall ink absorbed the light differently than the parchment, making erased text suddenly legible. This non-destructive method lets scholars read hidden writing without chemicals, like revealing a secret message with a black light. Scientists then advanced to multispectral imaging, photographing manuscripts under many wavelengths, from UV to infrared, to capture unique spectral fingerprints of inks and parchment. Powerful software analyzes these images, enhancing the faint, erased text while suppressing the rest, revealing what was once invisible. The most famous example is the Archimedes palimpsest, a 13th century prayer book that, thanks to this technology, revealed lost works by Archimedes hidden beneath its pages. Technology turned a simple prayer book into a time capsule, resurrecting the words of a genius lost for centuries. Number 2. Stonehenge. This ancient monument on Salisbury Plain is one of the world's most iconic mysteries, built over 4,000 years ago. Massive sarsen and bluestone blocks were transported from miles away, arranged in a circle whose purpose still sparks debate. The scale and engineering required are staggering, showing the sophistication of Neolithic builders. How these stones were moved and why they were arranged this way remain key questions. Theories range from astronomical observatory to ceremonial site. For centuries, Stonehenge has inspired speculation and study. Early research relied on simple observation and measurement. Its alignment with the summer solstice sunrise hints at its astronomical importance. Today, new technology helps us map and study Stonehenge in greater detail. 3D models and digital tools reveal more about its structure and possible uses. Technology continues to unlock Stonehenge's secrets, helping us understand this ancient wonder like never before. The real breakthrough in understanding Stonehenge came not from digging in the dirt, but from digital technology and acoustic engineering. Researchers began to ask, what if Stonehenge was built to be heard, not just seen? Using advanced 3D laser scanning, scientists created a precise digital model of Stonehenge as it might have stood in its prime, around 2200 BCE. With this virtual replica, they could simulate how sound behaved inside the stone circle, testing voices, drums, and more. The results were astounding. The dense stones created a unique soundscape, amplifying voices and music within, while keeping them nearly inaudible outside. The reverberation was similar to a cathedral, making speech and ritual feel grand and powerful, a space designed for ceremony and connection. Stonehenge was more than a silent monument. It was a multi-sensory amphitheater, an architectural instrument built to be experienced through sound as much as sight. Thanks to technology, the silent stones finally had a voice, revealing their true purpose as a place to be listened to. Number 1. The Shroud of Turin. The Shroud of Turin is a 14-foot-long linen cloth housed in the Cathedral of St. John the Baptist in Turin, Italy. It bears the faint image of a crucified man. Many believe it to be the burial shroud of Jesus, while others see it as a medieval forgery. The shroud first appeared in historical records in 14th century France, owned by a knight named Geoffroy de Charny. Its image shows detailed wounds matching crucifixion accounts. In 1898, photography revealed the image is a negative, deepening the mystery. Debate continues. Is it a miraculous relic or a remarkable work of art? Science has yet to provide a definitive answer. The modern scientific investigation of the shroud began in earnest in 1978, when the Shroud of Turin Research Project, or STURP, was granted unprecedented access. For 5 days, a team of scientists subjected the cloth to a battery of non-destructive tests: spectroscopy, infrared analysis, X-ray fluorescence, and microphotography. Their goal was to determine the nature of the image. After years of analysis, the STURP team concluded that the image was not the result of paint, dyes, or pigments. They found no brush strokes. They famously concluded that the shroud image is that of a real human form of a scourged, crucified man. It is not the product of an artist. This conclusion, however, did not settle the debate. It only deepened the mystery by ruling out the most obvious methods of forgery. If it wasn't a painting, what was it? The next major scientific step was the one everyone had been waiting for: radiocarbon dating. In 1988, with the permission of the Vatican, small samples were cut from a corner of the shroud. The samples were divided and sent to 3 separate, highly respected laboratories in Oxford, Zurich, and Arizona for independent analysis. The labs were to determine the age of the linen cloth itself, a test that would seemingly provide a definitive answer to the shroud's origin. The results, published in the journal Nature in 1989, were a bombshell. All 3 laboratories independently dated the linen to a period between 1260 and 1390 AD, with 95% confidence. This timeline aligned perfectly with the shroud's first appearance in the historical record in France, and with Bishop Darcis's claim that it was a forgery. For the scientific community and many skeptics, the case was closed. The Shroud of Turin was a masterful but undeniably medieval creation. The mystery of how it was made remained, but the question of when seemed to have been answered definitively. And yet, the story doesn't end there. Proponents of the shroud's authenticity have fiercely challenged the 1988 carbon dating results ever since. They argue that the sample was taken from a corner that had been repaired and rewoven in the medieval period, a patch that was not part of the original cloth. They also suggest that contamination from bacteria, smoke from a fire in 1532, and centuries of handling could have skewed the results, making the cloth appear younger than it is. While subsequent studies using different dating methods have produced varied results, none have definitively overturned the 1988 consensus. Technology gave us a powerful answer, but in doing so, it created a new, more complex chapter in the enduring controversy of the Shroud of Turin. From the acoustic chambers of Stonehenge to the contested dating of the Shroud of Turin, these 10 objects show us something incredibly powerful. History isn't static. It is not a dusty book of facts, closed and finished. It is a living, breathing story that is constantly being revised, reinterpreted, and rewritten with every new technological leap we make. The past, it turns out, is not as far away as it seems. With every new discovery, every new tool we invent, we are essentially building a time machine, not of metal and gears, but of data and light, allowing us to see the ancient world with new eyes. Ancient mysteries that were once the domain of myth, speculation, and faith are now being methodically unraveled in laboratories and data centers. The secrets locked inside a frozen man are revealed by his DNA. The hidden chambers of a pyramid are mapped by cosmic rays. The lost words of ancient scribes are brought back to life by multispectral light. Tools like DNA analysis, satellite imaging, muon tomography, and artificial intelligence are not just adding footnotes to history. They are fundamentally changing the narrative, giving voices to the silent and shedding light on the darkest corners of our collective story. And this is only the beginning. We are standing on the cusp of an even greater technological revolution. As our tools become more powerful, more precise, and more intelligent, what other secrets will we unlock? What new discoveries are waiting just beneath the surface, hidden in the genomes of ancient bones, encoded in the faded ink of a forgotten manuscript, or buried beneath the sands of a desert? The questions we can now ask of the past are questions our ancestors could never have dreamed of, and the answers we are finding are reshaping our understanding of who we are and where we came from. Thank you for joining us on this journey down Listory Lane. Before you go, if you found these stories as fascinating as we did, please take a moment to like this video, share it with a fellow history enthusiast, and subscribe to our channel. Your support is what makes these explorations possible, and it will help us reach our first goal of 1,000 subscribers. With your help, we'll continue to explore the incredible intersection where history and technology meet. Which of these discoveries amazed you the most? Let us know in the comments below. We read every single one, and we'll see you in the next video.